What really goes on behind the shiny doors of an airport? The ones that make first-timers sweat and veterans roll their eyes? Well, let me tell you, it's nothing like what movies show or what your friends casually brag about. Imagine walking into a terminal for the first time. Bright lights, constant announcements, people rushing, luggage rolling over polished floors, and that overwhelming scent of coffee mixed with sanitizer hitting you all at once. It's sensory overload, no kidding. Most first-time travelers think checking in is simple. Print ticket, drop bags, go through security, and hop on the plane. But here's the kicker. There are so many invisible traps and little-known hacks that can make or break your travel experience. Let's start with check-in. Airlines today are sneaky. They love to make you wait in line, even if you checked in online. Did you know that kiosks often glitch if you try printing your bag tags too early, or that certain gates have secret express counters if you know exactly what codes to scan on your boarding pass? And speaking of boarding passes, don't just glance at them. Look at the small print. Hidden next to your seat number could be clues about upgrades, standby spots, or even lounge access you didn't know you qualified for. Now, baggage. Oh boy, baggage is a story of its own. Most people overpack, but did you know airports secretly track how fast and efficiently you can drop a bag? Not just for security, but for airlines to figure out who might be a slow passenger and adjust boarding priorities. TSA isn't just checking for prohibited items, they're reading your behavior, your posture, your hesitation. Here's a little secret. If you approach security confidently, remove your electronics efficiently, and have your liquids sorted in a clear bag, you cut your waiting time drastically. And there's more. Body scanners aren't just scanners, they're subtly tuned to detect patterns, like if you're nervous or trying to hide something innocuous like a power bank. Ever notice those random secondary screenings? It's not always bad luck. Sometimes it's a test. Sometimes it's a pattern recognition exercise. And sometimes, well, we'll get into that. Now let's talk about airport navigation. Terminals look like a labyrinth, but there's an invisible logic most first-timers miss. Gates aren't randomly placed, they're optimized for aircraft type, boarding speed, and even passenger demographics. For instance, flights with lots of families or elderly passengers often are placed near elevators, while business-heavy flights are tucked away with quick access to lounges. Speaking of lounges, you don't need a premium ticket to exploit them. Many airports have partnerships with credit cards or even off-peak entries for a small fee, yet so few travelers know how to find these hidden oases. And food. Don't get me started on airport food. Beyond overpriced sandwiches, most terminals have secret local gems tucked in corners or behind duty-free shops, sometimes serving meals fresher than the restaurants outside the airport. Pro tip, look for the kitchen staff in uniform, not the flashy signs. That's usually where the real food is. Oh, and bathrooms. They're strategic too. Ever wondered why the cleanest ones are at the far ends of the terminal? It's on purpose. They control foot traffic and keep certain zones less crowded. Moving on to boarding, airlines love to create drama. They over-announce, shuffle lines, and assign gates with slight delays. But if you know the pattern, you can often board faster, snag better overhead bin space, and even choose seats that aren't listed online. And don't get me started on flight announcements. They're coded. Every word gives clues about delays, crew readiness, or luggage handling quirks. Next up, international travel. Customs and immigration are a jungle if you're unprepared. Beyond passports and visas, officers are trained to pick up subtle inconsistencies, like slight hesitations or incomplete answers. Here's the human hack. Answer calmly, confidently, but never over-explain. And yes, luggage scanning isn't just about prohibited items. They're often looking at packing logic, density of items, and even patterns of clothing folding. Odd, right? That's why rolling clothes efficiently, keeping electronics accessible, and labeling liquids properly isn't just about convenience, it's about signaling to scanners and officers that you know your stuff. Now, layovers. They're tricky. Most first-timers panic about tight connections, but seasoned travelers exploit them. Some airports let you pass through security checkpoints multiple times if you have a long layover. Others have transit hotels inside terminals, allowing naps without leaving security zones. And there's the psychology angle. Crowded terminals can stress even the calmest people, but recognizing patterns like peak snack hours, boarding times, and seating rotations lets you navigate without tension. Oh, and signage. Airports design them to control flow subtly. you'll notice certain arrows are slightly offset, or symbols larger than others. That's intentional, and knowing which ones to follow, or sometimes ignore, can shave minutes off your trek from check-in to gate. Then there's the tech side. Apps, alerts, and airline notifications are only half the story. Many terminals have internal scanners that track walking speed, dwell time at kiosks, and even mobile device signals to optimize passenger distribution. This means that simply walking briskly but not rushing can actually make you appear as a priority passenger in algorithms, which subtly influences boarding order. And yes, while everyone talks about TSA pre-check, global entry, or clear, there are even less-known tricks. Sometimes gates themselves allow premium access for travelers with certain frequent flyer statuses even without formal programs. And finally, here's the part most travelers don't get. Airports are living organisms. They breathe with the rhythm of flights, the patterns of passengers, and the unseen nudges of airline and government policies. First-timers think it's chaos, veterans know it's choreography. And if you apply these subtle hacks, navigating check-in smartly, understanding baggage handling psychology, mastering security, finding hidden lounges and eateries, interpreting boarding announcements, and reading the invisible signals, you can turn any first-time airport visit into a smooth, almost luxurious experience. So, whether you're a nervous traveler, a family with kids, or someone trying to catch a tight connection, the difference between chaos and control is all in the knowledge most people never share. And here's my suggestion for you, unique to this guide. Next time you fly, don't just follow the crowd blindly. Observe, anticipate, and exploit these subtle patterns. Walk like you belong, pack like an insider, and speak confidently when questioned. Use hidden lounges, avoid peak congestion zones, and treat every boarding announcement like a secret code. Because mastering these insider airport hacks isn't just about saving time, it's about turning travel stress into a strategic advantage. Airports are no longer intimidating mazes. With the right approach, they become arenas where first-timers can play like seasoned pros, and every trip transforms from a chaotic journey into a calculated, almost effortless adventure.